Okay, and here we are.
We'll start. What is your full name and explain why your parents gave you that name? My name is James Michael Bird. I'm named after my grandfather, Bird, who was Alfred James Bird, and my great-grandfather, Lawrence Michael Christensen. Okay, thank you, sir.
And your Christensen's father.
Yes. When and where were you born? I was born in Idaho Falls in the old LDS hospital. It's next, it was south of the Idaho Falls Temple. I was born on a Saturday, about 1 p.m., as best as my memory remembers. Loved my grandparent Christensen because I got to be around them a lot. I wasn't around my father's parents. My grandmother Bird passed away when I was a year old, and Grandpa Bird, he wasn't around much. So. My dad was talented, smart. He was a football captain in high school. I had no sport abilities in me, but he was.
And his name was?
Albert Owen Bird was his name.
Bill.
And he spent part of his bringing up in Teton Valley, and then they moved to St. Anthony, and that's where he met my mother. They were both talented in music. Dad played a guitar, and he could play the piano and the organ, and her and Dad were good singers, Mom and Dad. My hometown, Idaho Falls, it's not nearly as nice as when I was growing up. It's about 3 times the population now, but for a while we lived out next to the sugar factory in Lincoln, and there was a creek ran by there that was called Sand Creek, and it was kind of wild south of the where the sugar factory was, so that was a fun place to go and play. And us kids in the neighborhood got to be friends with the night watchman, so he let us have the run of the sugar factory, so the sugar factory was our playground also.
And I'll put in the number. Wait, I did it wrong.
What'd it do? Time out?
Yep. You have to tap it to make sure it doesn't go black.
My teenage years, we lived in Idaho Falls. I played a saxophone, and I got to be in the pet band in high school, and that was a lot of fun, and I had some good friends, and I liked math and science. I tested high mechanically, so I'm pretty good at fixing things, I guess. Dad, my father worked, there was a place called Zion's Wholesale, and he worked there for a number of years. He drove truck. He could drive the big 18-wheelers. And Mom was mostly a home person, but she worked for her brother for quite a while, who had a little store next to a grade school in Idaho Falls. And so they were buddies, kind of like Jeff and Diane.
What's her brother's name?
That was John Christensen.
John Christensen and Grandma Vernana.
Yeah. Mom's name was Ella Vernana Christensen. And she didn't like the name Ella, so she went by Vernana. And
bad choice.
Yeah. My middle name, Michael, Mom and Dad had a bit of an argument about my name. Mom wanted Michael James Bird and Dad wanted James Michael Bird. Dad won, but then we went by my middle name, so I guess Mom won too.
Are you supposed to not touch it?
You're supposed to touch it. I thought I
Keep
did.
your thumb on it, it won't die.
Is there my thumb?
Mm-hmm.
Or any finger you choose.
Any finger? Okay. Currently, the only ones alive in my family are me and my little brother, Steve Bird. So, all
He's really the only one.
all the others have passed away. My oldest brother, Richard, passed away mainly from a bad heart. Second brother, Vernon, he had cancer. My sister, who was a middle child, Marva, she died of cancer. So, kind of a history of cancer in my family. Dad died of a bad heart, and Mom died of kidney failure. I don't know that Berta and I've had any. My wife's Berta Bird.
Hi, Grandma.
I don't know that we've had any great tragedies in our life.
Oh, I kept you alive.
Yeah, oh, that's right.
Thanks for keeping alive.
I
I
had
can't do without him. No.
I had some kind of a virus that just about killed me, but Mom stayed with me in the hospital for 11 days, keeping me alive.
Night and day.
Was this the one just a few years ago?
Yeah, it hasn't been too long ago.
Well, it's when Jeff was in Logan.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that's probably the nearest thing we can come to a real tragedy. When we were going to school at BYU, we had a late term miscarriage, which was sad for both of us. So
Little boy.
he was a little boy.
It was stillborn.
Yeah, stillborn. Wasn't a miscarriage. Genetic traits. I have a disease called chromomatosis, which is a hereditary disease which mainly affects your liver.
Does that mean we need more iron? Or wait.
The doctor suggested I have my family do tests to see if they had the genetic trait, and nobody had the test, and I'm the only one that's had any effect from it that I know of. But I just have to keep my iron level low in my blood. So when my mother was feeding me liver to try to give me lots of iron when I was a kid, that was the wrong thing to be doing, but she didn't know that. So.
It affects males.
Yeah.
Only men.
Some of the memories of family growing up, Christmas was always a special time. And I guess it's kind of a national trait. You get an orange in your Christmas stocking. So in the 12 of our Christmas stockings every year, we had a big old orange. They were kind of hard to come by, and Mom and Dad didn't have a lot of money, so we were poor, but I didn't know we were poor. My mother's parents lived in St. Anthony. That's where my mom and dad met. My grandpa Bird ended up living in Ogden, Utah, next to one of his kids down there, and that's where he passed away. I went to Idaho Falls High School.
I was the only one in Idaho Falls at the time.
Yes. There was that in Bonneville High School. But,
Oh.
my oldest brothers and sister graduated from Bonneville High School. Idaho Falls was better than Bonneville.
Oh. Wait, so did you switch? How did you end up going to different schools?
when I was really young, Dad and Mom bought a plot of ground on Jefferson Avenue
Mm-hmm.
in Idaho Falls. It's just north of the temple. And they built a house there. Dad salvaged logs from the barn.
I got it.
From above where they were going to build the Palisades Dam. And he built the house out of those logs. And and we lived there for a while. Then Dad and Mom wanted to buy a store, so they bought a little store across from the sugar factory in Lincoln. And we lived there for a few years, and then we moved back to town when I was in the 9th grade. And that's why I ended up at Idaho Falls High School. One story, when I was about 3, we lived in Mom and Dad rented a house on the south of the Idaho Falls Airport. And there was a canal went between our house and the airport along the county road that used to be there. And one day I disappeared, and they were scared to death I'd fallen in this canal. And he hunted and hunted and hunted for me, and he couldn't find me. Finally, Mom went back in the house, and for some reason she went into the bedroom, and I had crawled into my, I was sleeping in a crib at the time. I'd crawled in my crib and gone to sleep. I can remember that day passing behind Mom. She was cooking on the stove, and I just remember going in their bedroom where my crib was and getting in the crib. So I have that memory, but I don't know why that sticks.
Probably got in trouble.
I think they were glad to find me. My least liked class in school was English.
Really?
Really. I liked to read, but I didn't like the grammar.
That's understandable. What was your favorite thing to read?
Oh, I read science fiction a lot when I was a teenager. A little bit, not like I used to. I used to think I'd read every science fiction book in the Idaho Falls Library when I was in the 9th grade. So when I'd get out of school, I'd walk home from school, but the school was just kitty corner from where the library was. So I'd go to instead of riding the bus home, I'd go to the library and find a book and then bring it home. I read a lot of those books. Kind of a waste of time. That's anyway, someday I'd like to fly through space, but not at the speed we have to. I want to go faster than the speed of light, so, which, according to my understanding of science that I've studied, we can't do that. In high school, I palled around. I had a couple of friends. One was Jack Albertson, and I remember we were having a Sunday school party, and we were supposed to bring dates, and he was supposed to get a date and come with me. And he didn't find a date, but he came anyway, and I'd asked a girl that I knew from when I went to junior high and out in the Bonneville School District, so he and I shared my date. So that was kind of fun. That was Peggy.
She felt very.
That was Peggy Pickett.
She felt very loud, very popular.
I'm sure.
Two men dating me tonight.
Yeah, we went swimming up at Green Canyon swimming pool. I went to Rick's. Went 1 year and then went on a mission to New England mission, which went all the way from Newfoundland down to Connecticut at the time. So Rick's 1 year, mission for 2 years, then back to Rick's 1
Your
year.
mission president was
Truman Madsen.
Truman Madsen.
Well, I had 2 mission presidents. One was Truman Madsen and the other was Boyd Packer. So I had some really good mission presidents. Truman Madsen had a doctorate degree in philosophy from Harvard. So, and the mission home was close to where Harvard was in Boston. So he had a lot of people he knew in Boston. And Boyd K. Packer became an apostle. And then I went down to BYU. I had met Verla the summer of between Rick's and BYU, and we got married November of that year. So 2 years down at BYU, I had a wife and a little boy.
Came home with the baby.
Yeah, that's where Jeff was born, is in Provo, Utah. Jeff is our oldest child. I don't know what my greatest strengths are.
Grandma, do you know?
What are my greatest strengths?
Oh my goodness. He's very knowledgeable about the gospel and very good at fixing things and very, very patient and loving. Had no idea how good he would be to me when I'm needy.
Yeah.
And
Verla needed rescuing at the time, so I rescued her, and she rescued me.
yeah, I really didn't have a place to move to after nursing school. I was left with an apartment, but it was one of my checks every month to pay for it. And going home was no room for me.
So she married somebody that didn't have a job, didn't have a place to live.
But I got a job when I went to Provo. The hospital hired me. I worked at the heart intensive care and on the surgical floor there.
That was our first year down there, our junior year, and then the senior year I just took out a loan to finish the year, because she had a little baby to take care of.
He has a very bad need to not be in debt. No debt. His last car he bought was some kind of a bargain if you take out a loan.
Then I paid it off.
He could not wait to get that paid off. It was a very bad thing for him to have any debt. So he paid it right off. It was funny. I'm sorry. That was funny.
The only thing that we went in debt for was this house, and we paid it off early.
And the car off early.
Yeah.
That's a good way to be. It's
Most of them we paid cash for.
It's good to avoid that. It's a good mindset to
We
have.
are so wealthy and so much love. What we have is very precious. And that is you guys. Incredible, beautiful grandchildren.
We were blessed with great, wonderful grandchildren.
All of you guys in your missions, doing good for people, doing good everywhere. I think Briley has some dimples.
They're adorable.
I hadn't noticed it till today. Every day we find more love and good things to do. Huh?
The church has always been an important part of my life. I've tried to be faithful. I've had some pretty good church callings through the years, so
And some pretty young too.
yeah. So anyway, it's been a blessing in our lives, and it's important to have those values in your life as you're growing up. It asked me what foods do I like. I like a good steak, which I don't get very often.
Oh, he won't buy the meat. He just won't pay that for it.
Yeah.
So we don't have meat.
Oh, we do.
Do you have any allergies?
I don't. Well, I had an incident in an emergency room in the hospital once where they gave me some morphine and my heart stopped. But, so I guess I can't have morphine anymore.
Nice to know.
Yeah. So I guess that could have been a tragedy. Anyway.
Your mother was there.
Yeah, she watched
moving his feet.
Watched everything happening, but
And I couldn't get a hold of. I stayed home. I thought Melanie would be able to take me to the hospital. And so I didn't go with the ambulance.
my heart started beating on its own again. They were going to,
Oh, she gave you something to make it.
yeah, they were going to use the paddles on me, I guess, or thinking about it. They called it Code Blue, but I came to, so I'm still here, so that's good.
And Diane made it to the hospital first, and so she was pumping his feet. And what was I doing? I had your
I don't know.
hand.
Yeah.
Anyway,
I was out of it for a little bit.
I was like, I don't know.
Anyway, that's the only allergy I have.
Okay, wait a sec. I gotta tell this. Diane was the one who went in the emergency room with us. And since you could have only 2 people, they decided they had to keep him overnight. And so this doctor, or PA, or whatever she was, could tell who was with me. And you had to check in every time you went in for COVID. And since Diane couldn't go with me every time, take me to the hospital, it was Teresa that had to do that. Anyway, she came in, and that PA said, this isn't the same one that was here. She had memorized who it was.
Diane and Teresa traded places, and they got caught. They let Teresa stay. So.
Well, this is only 2 of us, and this is a daughter. We were really careful for a while.
Are there any other questions you'd like to answer?
There's a few more.
We saved him twice.
Yeah. I'm here for a reason. I'm not sure what it is. But, I met Verla when she was a nurse at the hospital, when she was doing her nursing training. And I told the whole board in a speech that when I first started going with her, I was Twitter-pated.
Oh, I wasn't.
You were?
I wasn't a student.
Well, when I first met you, you hadn't taken your test yet.
Really?
Yeah. Because you went to Boise to take your test. Yeah.
I don't remember it that way.
Okay, all right. Well, you remember it better than I do. So.
But where did you meet Grandma?
My cousin introduced us. He was an orderly at the hospital, and Verla and her sister were both nurses the hospital. And I guess they decided that Verla needed a date, and he knew I was available. So anyway, things got more wonderful after that. So, we have 5 children. Jeff, Diane, Melanie. Who did I leave out? We have 4 children, Jeff.
Teresa.
Well, I was getting to Teresa.
You have 4 children
I
yet?
was trying to think of the 5th one, but that wasn't coming to mind.
Jenny?
Jenny. Jenny was our dog.
I was thinking you was counting the stillborn.
No.
Okay. We have 4 children.
It's all right, I forget. My memory's going bad.
Not bad. You're doing just fine, Grandpa.
Yeah. All of our children are wonderful. All of our daughters took ballet. Jeff tolerated it. I guess my life philosophy is be kind to people. Do good where you can. I'm scanning the questions. It asks what scares me, and of course that's not having Verla with me. We're old. I'm 81.
That's not old.
Verla's not far behind. So. Oh, we're struggling with the things of old age. As far as my career, I studied math and physics in college and got a teaching certificate. Taught math for 6 years, and then decided that wasn't making enough living for us, so I put myself through school. In the summers working as an electrician, and then worked part-time as an electrician after school when I was teaching, and finally I decided electrician pays a lot more than teaching, so I did that as for the rest of my life. I was all involved with the electrical trade. Worked in construction, mostly industrial and commercial work. Worked on some pretty big projects out at the INL and up in northern Idaho. And then I got a job teaching out at the site, teaching the electricians and the linemen skill, and then the whole site that needed the electrical safety training. So kind of put everything back together at the end of my career. And that's where I retired from, was the site. It was good because I ended up with a pretty good retirement, which has made life a lot easier to have that income. Says, what do I want to be remembered for? I want my grandkids to remember me as a good person. And it doesn't matter what everybody else thinks, except what Verla thinks of me. So, Verla and I went on a mission together to Western New York. It was a Rochester, New York mission, and it had Hill Cumorah.
What year was this?
That was in 2010 and 2011. The Hill Cumorah was in there. The Whitmer Farm was part of our mission. Palmyra, part of our mission. And we had most of our kids and a lot of our grandkids come out and visit us when we were getting ready to go home. Sarah's the one recording this, and we have a picture of her standing on the balcony of the Palmyra Temple looking west, and what she was looking at was the Sacred Grove.
I remember that.
That picture's a good picture in my mind. I don't know how old you were, 4, 5,
I think I was 6 or 7.
6 or 7. Anyway, she's standing on a handrail looking out across where the trees didn't grow, so you could see the Sacred Grove from the temple. It's kind of neat. Nobody ever cut the trees down, but there just was a kind of a notch in the trees so you could look across at the Sacred Grove from the temple. They put me in the branch presidency, and Berta was a permanent primary substitute, which was every Sunday.
Every Sunday a different class.
So my life's been a good life. And of course, Berta's been the best part of it. So, Sarah's that's recording this. She's special, just like all of my grandkids are. So. I don't know what else you want.
What else do you want to do? What else is on your bucket list?
Oh. Well, my bucket list is pretty short now. Get some bushes trimmed in the yard. Keep the grass mowed. Keep things working in the house.
He doesn't like plumbing, but he's gonna have to do some soon.
I've got a plumbing job I've been putting off.
Okay. Anything else you'd like to add? Tips?
Well, there probably is, but I don't know.
Well, we can add it later.